So what is the process? Is it like you all get together or have a say in it, or is it
Well,
just
for this one, no, we're just well, for this one, I think Rob and Paul got together. We have a pretty big jam space, and they got together and they were going over Rob's songs. And Eric wrote his songs with a drum machine. He has a studio. So Alex is not even in Florida anymore. He did his stuff remotely at his place. And he would send us the songs. And then whatever songs he wrote lyrics for, he would come up with the patterns. And, everybody's pretty liberal. So if there was something I was like, hey, we need to change this pattern to make it fit better, or maybe this line doesn't work right. And then I'll go back to them and they'll either write something or, we'll just keep it, or, we'll just work with that. But that's, once we're in the studio. What I do is pretty much last, besides, and we also have done at the same time the solos. It's like the solos are kind of recorded at the same time, like maybe during the day, and then at night I'll come in and do the vocals. But we all just kind of did our thing, remotely. Like I said, with the exception of Robin and Paul. And then, the music, dude, you could do an album and never be in the same room with each other. I
oh,
mean,
that's common
in this day and
nowadays.
age, it's
Yeah.
insane. If this would have happened, what I'm saying, in like, 1995,
Yeah.
this
We
new
would be in
album
trouble for sure.
would have maybe got recorded, but we'd all had to be here.
Yeah.
So now, pretty much, I think before everyone came to practice years ago, when I first got into band, like I remember Gallery of Suicide, we had practices where we would just do some old songs, and then Alex would say, I got this riff, and he'd play it, and Paul maybe put something to it. Nowadays, like Alex will have the general drum beat that he wants, and then Paul will put his improvisation wherever he wants to put it. And that's pretty much what it is. And it's kind of like what I'm singing. Same thing. I pretty much stick to obviously what they wrote as far as the patterns and whatnot. But there's times where me and Eric we're working together. It's like, we got to speed this up, or we got to slow it down, or little tweaks here and there. But writing wise, it's all like I said, like routine. Program the drums, wrote the riffs, sang for me, and he's like, "Oh man, don't listen to how bad the vocals are." I'm like, dude, it sounds like it's fine. You are a competent singer yourself. Wait, you're amazing. So, but yeah, it's pretty much everybody's writing from home, and I think that would probably, I think with Eric and Rob, if this all ends and we're all going to be practicing and whatnot again, like normal, or get back to doing another record, I think it'll probably be, there might be some actual interaction while we're all together, or at least those three are together and somebody has a riff and is showing them the riffs. But I think, like, I don't know how they did the guitars. I think Rob just recorded his songs. Routine recorded his, and I believe they both did one of each of that, or two of each of Alex's songs, but I'm not totally sure on that.
Lyrically speaking, like, do you have like a pool of ideas at all? Like, while you like, or do you just keep shit on the back burner? Like, oh, we should do a song about, headless.
Usually, the way it used to be, I think Alex, like, he'll have ideas in his head and then have a song title, and he'll run it by us, and that one's good, or that one's not as good. But it used to be we'd have like old drum heads, and Paul would write down just, or like a piece of giant parchment paper or something, and then we just come up with some ideas. Like starting with, say, like blunt objects, sharp objects. What would suck to be killed with? It's not like your typical, murder weapon. And then just kind of combine things. And we have them at our practice space. We have like those pages and papers, and well, usually I think the drum heads we would use them when we had concrete titles, but there's a lot of manila paper, like when you drew them when you were kids and shit.
Yeah.
And that's got a lot of song titles on it and stuff. And there's some that we've thought about, like, oh man, and maybe integrated, not use that exact song title, but I would have to look at it to remember. But I remember that when we were doing the photo shoot for this record, we were all obviously here, and we just happened to move in this new practice space, which was an old practice space. But anyway, we moved into this new building, I guess I should say, and we found like some of those sheets with some of these song titles or working, you know, working on words. We just would have combined some words together, just like, you know, just ridiculous. Paul comes up with a lot of stuff like that. I mean, he definitely, you know, sometimes he comes up with the most fucked up lyrics, like of anybody, like, you know, I mean, sometimes you're just like, dude, what the hell, you know? Like the last record, there's a line, decaying, torn off penises, which the men were forced to chew and swallow. And it's like, what? I'm reading this and I got to sing this and try not to just laugh my ass off. I mean, look, we take the lyrics serious as far as the grammar and that we want them to be like, you know, serious horror movies. We like, not that this is a bad movie, it's a great movie, but like Army of Darkness. Like the first Evil Dead, I think was intended to be scary. And some people took it as maybe slightly like comical. And then I think Evil Dead 2, they were just definitely like, campy. Okay, we realized that some things were campy. Yeah. Army of Darkness is just like, we don't care. This is a silly movie. And I'm not saying we take things more like, we want the lyrics to be more like The Shining, serious and evil. But some of the songs have a Lucio Fulci, you know, just brutality that is like you have. I'll never forget when we did Guardian Suicide, Jim Morris. I was singing some part. I can't remember the song was, but it was really fast. It might have been Disposal of the Body, I think, or fucking song. It doesn't matter. The point is I was singing something really fast. And he's like, first off, how did you sing that fast? In death metal. It's like, I don't know, it's Tom Araya and, you know, all these other guys taught me, you know, speed singing. Billy Milano, Mark Van Drunen, the first Pestilence album, especially, not as not caring. And I just, you know, I don't know, I just got good at singing death metal voice fast. And he's like, and secondly, these lyrics are fucked up, you know? And Jim Morris is just laughing like he's just, and I'm singing these lyrics and he's just laughing while I'm singing them. And I'm just trying to be like, hatred and death. And he's just laughing in the booth, like not because he's laughing that the lyrics are silly, but he's just like, they're so outlandish sometimes. Like, come on, decaying, torn off penises, which never forced to chew and swallow. That's like my all-time favorite, probably of ours. That just makes me just laugh. And then me and Rutam, when we were recording that, it took a bit, right? Because I just couldn't get through it because it's so crazy, so outlandish, and you know. Like you would think it's George had to write that. He's, you know, if anybody looks at me on stage, hears me cursing at somebody because they threw something at me, I'm, you know, getting all out of control like a fucking child. They think he's the one writing that. No, the normal people are the crazier ones. Stop, you know. I mean,
right, yeah.
Like, or the normalest looking people. Not that Paul's crazy, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, but
no, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Alex comes up, like I think everyone comes up with some really great lyrics that fit us. And obviously we want them to be serious as far as, like I said, grammar and that there's a story. But at the same time, some of it is so crazy and over the top. Some of the song titles, I mean, look, even from the Barnes era, I Come Blood. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I Come Blood. Like, I mean, that's a really, I mean, you got to give credit. I mean, that's like,
and if you don't read these lyrics or you know the titles or even the album titles and don't get it right away that like this is clearly like they're not maniacal and trying to kill people and you know like I think you have to be damaged yourself if you don't see for what it is, you know.
Well, you have to be damaged if you take it too serious.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You know, I mean, listen. Obviously, we have some songs that are pushing buttons that, you know, deal with some things. They don't deal with them, but they're just written about some, you know, pretty nasty things that could happen. But we didn't invent any of them, you know, and we are not trying to, you know, advocate for it enough. They're just horror. They're horror movies, basically. In the end, it's all I can ever stress to people. Like we were going to play a song that we haven't played in a while. And I'm going back over the lyrics, just refresh my mind. I'm like, oh, jeez, man, what the fuck? I mean, come on. If you can't read them and just understand,
just laugh. Yeah.
Then I think you're too serious, and you were just sitting around looking for things to be mad about.
Absolutely.